It's recording now. Okay, thank you. Thank you for waiting, and let me share the screen. Okay. So, okay, today we're gonna discuss dreams. Not the expectation for the future, but what we do when we sleep. So, everybody sleeps, but not many people, especially if you sleep less hours, have dreams. So, how often do you dream?
Actually, I think not too much.
So,
I can remember last time I have a dream.
maybe. How long do you sleep?
A lot. I like to sleep at least 7 hours.
So, uh, why do you think you don't have dreams, or you can't remember your dreams?
When you have dreams or a lot of dreams, maybe because you aren't having a good rest when you sleep.
Okay.
Probably because of that.
All right. But do you remember a time when you could remember your dreams?
I remember when I was a child. I
Okay.
I don't know if it was a dream, maybe it's a nightmare.
All right.
Like when you know you are sleeping, but you can't see yourself.
Really? So
I
it's
think
like a
Spanish is like desdoblar.
it's like
I think.
astral projection.
Yes, I have like these nightmares sometimes when I was younger. But I have like this regularly. Like so, last times I just wait that, and at the beginning it's kind of scary, but
Yeah.
then I get used to
Well, I think that there is always something that makes us feel different when we sleep. So, do you think there is any connection between dreams and real life?
it. Yes, yes, but sometimes a few months ago I remember a dream with no with friends of my work. But recording, remember, I was remember something that happened in real life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
Something that,
mm-hmm.
and on the dream,
Okay.
yes.
So maybe you had, or maybe not, but some people say that they can predict their future. So if they dream something, they eventually can remember that as a prediction. So do you think dreams can predict the future?
Yes, maybe it's possible. Well, it doesn't happen to me, but probably.
Okay. So, what do you usually used to dream about?
Well, I told you I usually don't drink much, but when I dream, well, sometimes I dream about something I am thinking a lot. Like soccer game,
Oh,
I
right.
told you I like a lot soccer games.
Hmm.
Uh,
So,
or also a trip or a travel. In 2 days, I didn't really know that. I think some experience that I will have in real life in short term.
well, that is a sign that your brain is relaxed and is functional enough. So everybody dreams, I think, but maybe not many can remember what they dream. So, in your opinion, if you remember, obviously, if you don't remember, don't worry. So, what was the weirdest dream you ever had?
Or
Okay.
probably I was a child. I think I dreamed with my grandmother that she died like 1 month ago in a dream. So probably
Mm.
because of that I dreamed with her. But it's not weird, but I remember that.
Mm. Ah, okay.
Kind of say goodbye.
Well, so in your opinion, obviously you heard my theory that sometimes when we sleep less than necessary, we don't dream. But what do you think? Sometimes we dream, and some other times we don't.
Mm, I heard about them, as I told you before, that you drink more when you can rest well. So maybe it depends on how relaxed are you before you sleep. Maybe sometimes it's easy to drink when you are not, and maybe when you are thinking a lot in something.
All right. Okay. Nice. Now I want you to share your screen and go to DQV. Okay, so these are 10 common dream symbols you need to recognize. If you ever remember your dreams again, this will help you, okay, to remember.
DQB, right?
DQV.
Many of you enjoyed our previous video on 7 common dream meanings, so we thought we'd do a follow-up. Have any of you guys been having some trippy dreams lately? Instead of disregarding their importance, let's start embracing the weirdness together. Superstitions get a bad rep for being a bunch of hocus pocus, but can we truly deny that dreams are not a part of us? Here are 10 common dream symbols you need to recognize. 1. Hands. In everyday life, we use our hands to accomplish a lot, so when you see them in your dreams, pay attention to what they do. You might be giving someone a helping hand or trying to get rid of guilt when you're always washing them. If a pair of hands are grabbing you, someone may be trying to grab your attention, or you may feel like you're being controlled. If you're shaking hands with someone, it symbolizes an agreement.
I'm not sure. I'm experience.
Okay, don't worry. Wait
Now
and see.
we can with see that one.
Wait and see. Retry, just retry.
Okay. So,
2. Hair. Our father figure Freud has always associated hair with sexuality. Having a lot of hair represents strength, while losing it might mean you're feeling weak or vulnerable. Getting tangles in your hair symbolizes confusion, and combing through it means you're exploring new ideas. 3. Clothes. Clothes represent how we want the world to perceive us. Trying on new clothes means you're going through some life changes. Wearing clothes that don't fit you may suggest that you're putting on an act for others, while wearing clothes with stains or tears means that you feel damaged.
Nice.
4. Mountains. Depending on where you are on the mountain, you can either feel like you're on top of the world or tumbling down into despair. If you're on the top, it means you're succeeding in real life, whereas going downhill suggests you feel stuck in a dead-end job. 5. Water. Water is resilient and is associated with our emotions. If you dream of swimming, it means you're going with the flow of life. If you're showering, it suggests you're washing away negative emotions. And if you're underwater, it might signify you feeling overwhelmed by a certain situation. 6. Teachers. Teachers make great advice givers and can guide us through the tough times. If you dream about being a teacher, it means you feel as though you have to explain a truth to others. To dream of being taught by a teacher shows you need some support. 7. Roads. If you dream about being at a crossroad, it means you're about to make an important life decision. If you're driving on a road, pay attention to the condition of it. Is it bumpy, filled with potholes, or smooth as sailing? The road represents how much control you feel you have over your life. 8. Spiders. When you see spiders in your dreams, it suggests many things. On one hand, it may represent an overbearing mother, but on the other, it might represent creativity for the webs that they weave. To see a spider climbing up a wall, it might mean that things are finally looking up. 9. Snakes. Although these creatures might seem scary, in some cultures, seeing snakes in your dreams represent healing and transformation. It may also suggest that you are allowing your creativity to live up to its full potential. 10. Roller coasters. To see roller coasters in your dreams means that you're going through many ups and downs in life. It might be telling you to try and strive for balance and learn to accept a situation when you feel like it's out of your control. Psych2Go's comment of the day comes from Hannah Mossberg, who writes, so is this what people usually dream about? 'Cause my dreams are never ever this normal. I'm very curious to hear about your wacky dreams, so please let us know in the comments about the weird and wacky dreams you have. Don't forget to check out our previous video on 7 common dream meanings. Also, if you are a fan of our work, we hope that you can get involved by suggesting topics you would like us to cover. And please subscribe to join the Psych2Go community. Thanks for watching.
If you want, you can stop it. All right. So, don't forget to check the. So there is a check section, mark as done. Okay, so, you can check that. Right. Now we are going to go into our DQ. Sorry. Okay, into the. And I want you to read the 2, okay? So oops, we're here. I'm starting with 8 and 9, please.
Okay. Spiders. When you see spiders in your dreams, it suggests many things. On the one hand, it may represent overbearing but on the other, it might represent creativity for the webs that they weave. To see a spider cleaning up a wall, it might mean that things are finally looking up. Snakes. Although these creatures might seem scary, in some cultures, seeing snakes in dreams represents healing and transformation. It may also suggest that you are allowing to do creativity to live up to potential.
Nice, thank you. So we are going to use these 2 to launch our grammar. So in order to understand how people can make these kind of statements, we need to understand the content first. Especially when we are talking about dreams, we cannot be completely sure. This is why you always hear these words, might, could, okay, or it should sometimes. So these modal verbs for possibility. When we are talking about those possibilities, if the possibility is higher or is a natural thing, we usually say this is a zero conditional or a natural reaction of the reality. For example, over here, when you see spiders in your dreams, it suggests many things. Instead of when, we can say if. So we can change this word here, when, and we can just say if. Oops, a little bit bigger. If. Okay? If. This if is the way we are going to recognize the conditionals. I think you know already how to use the natural conditionals. So it's something we do all the time in Spanish especially. Then we have 1, 2, and 3. So we have more conditionals. And especially the next conditional is, it is still part of the reality, but then the result is for a possible future or an expected future. When we say possible, is normally what already happens, but it happens in the future, and well, the possibility is there. This is why we use mostly will. But sometimes it's unusual. And in those cases, we cannot use will directly. We can use other models of possibility. For example, if, okay, if you see snakes when you dream, obviously, in your dream, you might be healing. Oops. Healing. Like this. So if you see snakes, okay, something that happens over here in present has an effect or a possibility of an effect in the future. Here in the first conditional, this is something we do or we have or we think, or in this case we dream in present has an effect in present. In other words, okay, first conditional, our first conditional, mostly for present. Zero conditional, or we call it zero conditional, also deals with present, but the result is linked to the present. In the first conditional, the result is linked to the future or a possible future. Is this clear?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so that's what we are going to deal with in our grammar. Okay, so I'm just giving a summary in case we don't have enough time to conclude everything. Okay. Okay. If you want, you can take a screen capture or a picture of this.
Yes. I want to take a screen. Okay, thank you.
Nice. All right. So let's go to HT. Okay. And we're gonna go into the zero and first condition. So, so read and give a continuation to this sentence.
If you dream of a falling tree, you might I think you might lost someone close to you.
Okay, so it's something that, okay, it's a high chance that this can happen, but we never know. So
Yes.
when we have conditions, we need to think of them more as boxes that give a result. So it's like something that launches something. So would you like to read, please?
Yes, conditionals are also called if clauses. They describe the result of something that may happen in the present or future, or might have happened but didn't in the past. They are made using different English verb tense. these conditionals have different functions.
Right. So let's start with what I told you. Zero conditionals are general facts and permanent truths. So this is why we call them present present, because you cannot force the reality. You adapt to the reality. So if I dropped, for example, I have a pen. If I drop the pen, okay, it hits the table, the desk. So this is the reality, something expected, something natural. First conditional, on the other hand, is possible. We don't really know if, because there are more than just one condition. It's not natural. For zero conditionals, we always think about natural things. For example, if you are driving, okay, and then suddenly there is a red light, what is the natural thing to do?
To stop the car.
To stop. And if you are sleepy while driving,
Probably you might have an accident.
so you cannot be completely sure that you have an accident or that you don't have an accident, because there are now dependent on humans and human decisions. This is how we make the difference. In zero conditional, no human decision can change natural development of the things. In the first conditional, the human intervention makes the change. Okay? Now, second and third conditionals are dealing with hypothetical situations, things that we usually use, especially when we want to make a case. So I think second conditional is the perfect form when we want to uncover the truth. So we have to make ourselves questions about hypothetical conditions and its probable result in the past. The third conditional is something that you cannot change. Okay? So, unlike the second conditional that I think about right now, but the condition feels as in the past, in third conditional, this is all about the past. You cannot change the past. Okay? It's something that you are imagining. And because of that, most of the time, the only result in the third conditional is regret. Do you remember what regret means?
Yes.
What does it mean?
In Spanish?
Yeah.
Arrepentirse.
Arrepentirse, exactly. So most of our regrets deal with, if I had done this result would have happened. Okay, so for example, maybe you don't have this regret, but if I had taken the opportunity to travel to United States, I might have had another life right now. Okay, so it depends, and it's not only depending on you, but depending on a situation you cannot change because it's already in the past. Finally, the mixed conditionals are things that can change or can combine, sometimes third conditional with a first conditional, sometimes second and third, so something in reality that can affect your regret, or sometimes first conditional combined with second conditional, a possible condition that is real, something real right now that can give you an idea of what could happen. So in this lesson, we're going to focus only in the present, zero conditional, and then in present possible future, the first conditional.
First condition. Okay.
Nice. Before we continue, do you have any question?
No, it's clear.
Right. In the thing that occupies us, okay, what we're going to concentrate is thinking starting from especially when we are thinking about the law or thinking about litigation, and especially in your cases where you have to uncover certain cases, especially for enterprises, we are going to focus a little bit more on possibilities, okay, and things that could happen. Okay, so even though zero conditional is important, and also third conditional, if we can say sorry, okay, for them, but we can concentrate a little bit more because these two especially are mostly used in law. Okay, so I would say 70% of the cases, movies, or sometimes reports and the news about legal cases deal with first and second conditionals. So these if possibilities. Okay. This is usually to make a report, something that is natural or obvious. Okay. We can use them in law, but it's not exactly, so this is more so obvious that it's not exactly useful in many cases. Up to this point, is this clear?
Yes.
Awesome.
So in case of legal,
Sorry?
have to use more second conditional, right?
Uh-huh. So in law especially, we concentrate in first and second conditionals. It's not that zero conditional is not useful. You can use it sometimes, but first and second conditionals is what we encounter most. Okay? Now, please read.
Zero conditional functions. The zero conditional is used for talking about general truths, things that always happen under certain conditions. Zero conditional sentence consists of two clauses: a conditional clause of or if clause, and a main clause or result clause. In most zero conditional sentences, you can use when or if, and the meaning will stay the same. It implies a cause and effect relationship in the present.
Yes. Okay. Now, this is more specifically speaking, the things that we consider truth, but I can consider it as well as you. Okay? Something that is real here in Peru, as well as in Chile, in China, in the Easter Island. So whatever we do is natural everywhere. Okay? For example, if you put water in the freezer, okay, so it turns to ice. So it is normal if the freezer is working properly, obviously. So it turns in ice. If you hit to 100 degrees Celsius, the water boils. So things that occur everywhere. Okay? So now please think about 2 or 3 things that you would say to make a case in a legal case.
Using zero conditional,
Using zero conditional.
if you pursued the judge, you will win the case. Can be if you show more evidence than the other party, you will win the case.
All right. Now, for example, if I gather all the documents, okay, I can be successful in my case. So it's something natural, normal that we get. Now, this is how we structure the zero conditional. Remember that if is another form, or a more specific form of when. Okay? So everything that you can use with when, okay, with when, you can do it with if, basically, in zero conditional. Okay? So just try it in these examples. Instead of if, say when.
When you sit in the sun, you get burned.
Does it make
You
sense?
don't sit in the sun. Yes.
Yeah.
You
So,
can get burned.
so remember, since you follow the same structure, what we are doing is using the same rules for when. So if you put when at the beginning, what do we put in the middle? So if you put when at the beginning, what do we have to put in the middle to separate the sentences?
Comma?
The comma. Excellent. So it is evident that when forms part of the structure, and it captures the first sentence. If you want, you can switch. Okay, you make it switch and you get rid of the comma. So can you do it in the first sentence?
You get burned when you sit in the sun.
Aha, exactly. So you get burned, remember? Burned when you sit in the sun. Or in this case, if you sit in the sun. Okay? By the way, another thing that we have to keep in mind is, even though we prefer to use present simple, okay, we can use any form of the present. We have present simple, present continuous, and in some occasions, present perfect. Okay? So in zero conditional, we only use present forms, but you are not limited to only present simple. Is this clear?
Yes.
Nice. An example of what I said. Okay, and let me write it here. So, if you've completed the task, you can rest. Okay. So I am using present perfect, and then I am using present simple, but with a modal. Okay. So there are no limitations in the zero conditional. You can use any form of the present. We prefer, though, to use present simple and present continuous. Present perfect is limiting a little bit on you. On the other hand, the second part is expected to be only present simple. Okay? It would be really strange to see present perfect on the other side. Okay? So this is more common, okay, to have this structure. Okay? Present simple, 90% of the time is on the second part. Before we continue, do you have any question?
No, it's clear.
No? Awesome. Okay, just one trick. Every time you're using the zero conditional, you need context afterwards. So, not always, but most of the time, we go along here with because. You can use other words like since or due to. Okay? It's not necessary to complement this, but we use these linking words to justify our argument. This will be a little bit more evident in the first conditional. Okay? But you can use it in zero conditional too. For example, if you sit in the sun, you get burned because today it is really hot. Okay? I can do the opposite. I can use a negative here. If you sit in the sun today, you don't get burned since it is really cloudy. Okay? So we usually give a natural justification for the zero conditional, and especially for the first condition. All right? Okay. For the purpose of this lesson, though, we are not going to expect this, but this is something you can do, especially in your area of expertise. Okay? It's something that you should do. It's something you should do. Okay?
Thank you.
Nice. All right. Now, let's think in completing one of these sentences. Okay. So, what do you think can go afterwards?
So we report this to my boss. Well, depends of what you report. Maybe I can get upgrade.
All right. Yeah, that might be. Okay. Can you do it in the chat, or did you do it in the chat? A full
I can write?
write a full sentence in the chat.
Ah, the same one or no?
Yeah, if I report this to my boss.
Maybe.
Right. Okay. So is this clear about the zero conditional?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. If you want, you can take a screen capture or a picture of this.
Okay. Yeah, it is on. Thank you.
Nice. Right. So let me see. Okay, so if I reverse my boss, I can get an upgrade. Okay. Nice. Now, with first conditionals, we need to think differently. So these are not natural sequences anymore. Would you like to read, please?
Yes. First conditional is used to talk about actions or events in the future, which are likely to happen or have a real possibility of happening. This means we try to establish what will happen in the future based on a present fact or action.
Nice. Okay. So remember, now we are not talking about the facts, but it's a real possibility. It's not a specifically natural reaction, but it can happen. Okay. For example, if I have a day off, I will go to the mall, but I can go to other places. I might go to pay a visit to a friend. I might stay at home. I might not go anywhere and stay in my bed all day watching Netflix. So there are many possibilities, and from all the possibilities you have to choose one. Here is when we add the circumstantial element, similar to what we saw before in the dreams. You choose the meaning. For example, if you dream, for example, about a beautiful woman, what do you think is the meaning?
I like her.
So in this case, it's not that you automatically like her, maybe something else. Okay. So in these cases, we have to use the first conditional functions. Same thing for the condition itself. Not all the conditions are the same. Okay. And in this case, for the conditionals, starting with 1, then 2 and 3, okay, we start thinking about not only one possibility. Okay, here, yeah, we are limited. Okay? So now the if is only in present simple, okay, for the first condition. In rare cases, you're gonna see the other tenses: present simple, present continuous, or present perfect. In very rare cases, you're gonna see that. Okay, it's, well, one more time, 90% here is present simple. On the other hand, here we are gonna use future. Okay? But you know how many forms of the future we have?
3 forms?
Which ones
Simple,
are?
Simple, continuous, and perfect.
Nice. Great. In this case, we prefer future with will, future with be going to for some certain predictions, and future, even though some people use future continuous, it's really difficult to use. Okay? So, especially for legal issues, we can use the 3 ones that we have been doing. So, starting with, okay, the future continuous, and then future simple, and future will be going to. Is this clear?
Yes.
Nice. Future continuous, though, has a limiting factor. Let me explain what I mean. Okay. Example. If I had a headache, so if I have a headache, okay, something that can be real right now. I don't have a headache right now, but if I have a headache, something in the future will appear. From all the circumstances, what do you think I can do? What do you recommend using future continuous?
Future continuous. If you have
Future continuous, not future perfect. Future continuous.
yes, if I have a headache, I will be taking a pill.
But taking is, in this case, is not active, right? Because I take the pill and I stop.
I will take. No, I will going to a doctor.
Okay, in this case, yeah, it might be possible to use it like that. This is not be going to, is future continuous. In this case, it works because it's an intention now. Only with intentions, future continuous can work. Okay? But what do you need? What else do you need?
Justification.
No. What else do you need? If you're using future continuous, remember? What do you need?
The time.
Exactly.
When?
So I'll be going to a doctor.
As soon as possible.
Okay. ASAP. Okay. Yeah. So if I had a headache, I'll be going to a doctor as soon as possible. So this is intentionality. We cannot use this unless we are talking about ourselves. That is the limiting factor, because you don't know what the other person can think. So this is why we use future continuous, but only when you're talking about yourself.
Okay. Yeah,
Right?
I understand.
Nice. But sometimes it's not necessary, because we can say the same thing with this. So, and it will have the same effect. So, I'll go to a doctor. So it's not an intention anymore, it's a future action, but it's almost the same. Okay? So it becomes a prediction instead of an intention. So this is why not many people prefer to use future continuous in first conditional. Even though, let's say, it's grammatically possible, but not many people use it. It's longer.
Yes.
And the purpose, especially for your career, is to keep it simple. So, is this clear now?
Yes.
Awesome.
Clear.
Nice. Okay. Now, remember that in the previous one, in zero conditional, we have a justification after it? Here, we don't need it. We don't need afterwards. Okay? What we can, well, as a possibility, is not forced, similar to the other one, we can have a previous idea. Okay? We can have previous ideas, context. And usually, context said or mentioned as okay, it's not intentionality actually. So, in a lack of a proper word, we can call this historical. Like this. So historical context. Okay. One more time. It's not this is completely necessary, but we usually end up saying this. Okay. For example, I remember when I lost or when I used to lose my pens or pencils in school. I think that if children steal, parents will be mad if they discover it. Okay? So we need context to get into this possible conclusion.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes.
This is why I told you first conditional is one of the best ways to bring up conclusions and in an argument. So you are not using facts exactly, but you're bringing up ideas. So this is a possibility. We should consider this. So that's what you're saying. Okay. Once again, please. I'm gonna give you the context. Okay. Has this ever happened to you?
Well, not to the other party, but one.
Okay.
I think 3 months ago in the ministry, that happened with a system, internal system.
Not yes. It can happen. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So. But sorry if I So, what do you think could happen?
There was an information leak. If I am in charge of this case,
Okay, let me put it better. Okay, so they are telling you to take the case.
yes.
If you want me in this case,
you want me in this case, mm, first, if I think if you want me in this case, you will first you will have no. Can I use have to? Will?
Yes, you can.
First you have to.
Mhm.
First you have to. First you. First you have to identify the information that was leaked.
Like this.
But you will have to.
You'll have to. Because remember, they are proposing it, but neither party knows if you're going to accept or not.
Yes.
So this is why we have to use will. So you can use have to, yes, but as part of the future. So you'll have to secure the information. You'll have to give me all the data, or whatever you condition you put. Okay. So this is why, especially in law, we concentrate in the first and the second when we see it. Okay. So is this clear up to this point?
Yes. Now with the example is clear.
Nice. Please take a screen capture or a picture of this. Don't forget, we can also use first conditional and zero conditional in negatives. Okay, you got it?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Nice. Okay, let me see the sentence. Okay. Now, what are the differences? Please read.
Yes. In summary, zero conditionals happen 100% of the time, and first conditional can happen and are usually very likely to happen. Let us see the examples below. If the temperature drops to 0 degrees, it snows in the year. If you mix red and blue, you get purple. There will be no other results.
Right. So, so just give me a minute, okay? In the first one, it's a natural thing, something that you cannot avoid. But here, remember, they don't tell you the proportions. This is why we need historical facts or historical context. So we have two drops of red and 2 drops of blue. If you mix red and blue, you get a reddish purple, or a purple that looks more like red than blue. So, because we can have other results depending on the historical context. Okay? We don't have only one thing. Okay? So there are many possibilities. Okay? Thank you, and sorry for interrupting. And now the second.
No. When using the zero conditional, the sentence describes what is generally known to be true all the time. For instance, scientific rules. If the temperature drops to 0 degrees, it will snow. Possibility. If the temperature drops to 0 degrees, people will feel cold. Another possibility. When using the first conditional, the sentence describes something that can only happen in the future of the current situation. There are good chances it can snow, but it still might not.
Great. So, depending on how you present it, okay, remember, either you present historical facts or you present afterwards information, So you can have either the zero or the first conditional. What is this different important? Because sometimes we are given context already. For example, if you okay, now I am sitting away from the table. Okay, I am sitting away from the table. If I drop the pen, what do you think happens?
It will fall on the floor.
Uh-huh. So, but it can fall on maybe on the desk, on a chair, on my hand because you're not seeing it. So, the more information you have, the less you can use first conditional. Okay. On the other hand, so if I don't drop the pen, how could you complete it?
If I don't draw the pen,
If I don't drop the pen,
it will stay in your hand.
it will.
Or it stay in your hand.
It stays, exactly. I don't give
Stays.
you anything else, so it is obvious that it stays in my hand. So I can use only present, therefore zero conditions. Is this clear now?
Yes.
Awesome. The more information you have previously, well, it reduces the amount of possibilities. But if they don't give you anything, you have no option but use the zero condition in context, obviously. Okay, because I am telling you right now that I have it. This is a fact. I have it in my hand. Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. We already did this, but we are going to continue. So create some sentences, please, using the zero conditional
Okay.
in affirmative, negative, and questions. After this, in a few minutes, we are going to start with a project presentation.
Okay. If you run faster, you win the career, right?
The race. Race. Nice. In negative,
If you don't study for the exam, you don't pass the course.
in this case, we if you use only don't, this leads into maybe doubt. So we prefer to use, in this case, modals. For example, can't. You can't pass the exam. Or the structure be able to. So you are not able to pass the exam.
You can.
You can't pass the exam.
You can pass the exam. Okay.
And a question.
Can be what happens if you arrive late to the office?
So what happens if you arrive late? So in this case, that what happens it influences the rest, but it's okay. Now, first conditional possibilities.
If I have vacations, I will travel to Brazil. if I don't um, oh, if my team doesn't win the game, I will be angry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, question can be question. It's the same structure of pure conditional.
Mm, we follow the same structure, but we have to use will or maybe another model like might.
So it can be what
What might happen?
what might happen if you have if you have a car accident.
Uh huh. Yeah, that's great. Nice. Okay. Right. We are going to stop here. We're gonna leave it. If possible, I would like you, or I would suggest you to do the HS. Okay.
You can
So you can go there. You can do it afterwards if you want, and think. So what will you be doing? So this is for you to practice a little bit more on the first conditional.
okay.
Okay. Right. And now we are going to start with the project presentation.
Okay. Give me just 1 minute.
Okay. Don't worry.
Sorry. I have to charge the presentation, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you see the
Yes,
presentation?
I can see it.
Okay, thank you. So I have I put like the list of the activities that I will as a, for remind the speech.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I,
Start.
I will start. Imagine that you are the the representative, the guy from the company that want to hire my firm to take this case. So, good morning, good night, Felipe. Thank you for this meeting and for choosing our firm, our firm to defend your company in this arbitration case. Uh, First of all, I want you to know that uh, this is this is a case that will be a lot of aspects to review. So I will explain what my team will do and what we are going to do and how we will be prepared strategy and strong defense in these weeks. First, we are going to review all the documents that you give us by email related to this dispute. The most important part to review includes the contract, the main agreement, all the emails and the communications between your company and the company that is present the claims. So this step is very important because the facts will guide our strategy to follow. Um, After that, we are going to have a meeting with the internal legal team and also with your engineers that know about this project, so we can have a closer contact with the facts that happened in the past months of this dispute. I think we will have finished to review the documents by the end of the next week. So will be so we I think that this will be the first step to follow in this strategy. After that, we will contact we will contact experts of for to an experts and external experts in order to present in order to present how do you say, in order to present an expert document or an expert paper to a case to arbitration court. So these are going to help us our strategy to understand to the arbitration court can understand better our position in this dispute, because the technical aspects are very important in this kind of cases. Also, at the same time, my team and I will be preparing the legal strategy. So we are going to review the similar cases like jurisprudence that another arbitration court have in similar cases that can help us to support our strategy. I think this arbitration procedural can take at least 1 year. So, but the first step that we have to present will be the answer to the claim. So we have, according to the schedule, 30 days in order to present that. So during the next few weeks, our team will be working in prepare this document. So we will be writing all the legal arguments and also the technical arguments that the engineers and the intern team will give to us. Another important aspect that we will have to take in mind is that the most important thing is what evidence uh, we will have to present to arbitration court, and I will we will evaluate that it's necessary to present also witnesses that know what happened in the project. So maybe the engineer who is in charge of this project can be take or can be present after that as a witnesses. So all this aspect will be taking place in the meeting that we will have with your team in the next 2 weeks. After that, we will have to evaluate a possibility of settlement with the other company, uh, because this case is has a lot of issues that we have to evaluate. So we have to evaluate pros and cons of continue the arbitration, or maybe to a possibility of get to a settlement with other company. I want you to know that this can also this can be more benefit to your company because, as you know, the cost of the arbitrations are really expensive to the center of arbitration and also to the arbitration court. So this will be a possibility that we will have to evaluate with your team. Then after the writing part of presenting the answer of the claim, according to the schedule, we will have a hearing I think in 3 months. So in this part of the case, for me is the most important part. So before the hearing starts, we will have prepared the witnesses, in this case the engineer, and also we will have review all the evidence that we will have taken during this time. So in this case, during the hearing, I think we will have to present the case all also with the technical part, in this case with your engineers, so that can be benefit to clarify our position to the arbitration court, to the arbitral court. So with this in mind, I think we can pursue the arbitral court in order to take our position. But I want you to know that the other company, as I read the documents, also have a solid position. So I think we will have to prepare a really strong strategy in order to pursue the arbitral court. After the hearing, probably they give us a few days in order to present a summary of our arguments. So in this case, we will have to review the recordings of the hearing that identify the parts that can the parts of the hearing that the other party of his lawyers or his witnesses and his engineers can show weaknesses. So um, my team will be working on that after the Center of Arbitration give us this recording of the hearings, and with that we will have to prepare a very strong document of summary, because it will be the last opportunity that we will have to present our arguments. So with that in mind, I think we will have good expectations in this case, but also we will have to work hard in order to be prepared to these to these activities that we will take in these the next months. So I think with that we are going to work closely with your team also, and we will do everything possible to get a successful case. So thank you again for your trust in my team, in my firm, and we will keep in contact. I think with that I finish.
All right, thank you. I have a couple of questions about this.
Yes.
Imagine that I am the I am in this board of or in this firm of lawyers that you are. So I didn't consider the meetings as being that relevant in this part of the case. But what would be the justification to have the meetings at this stage? How would you how
I think it's important to have that.
if in the arbitration in, is the hypothetical case, can we omit the meetings or not?
Mm, I think no, because the meetings is really important to coordinate the, with the person that that leaves the project. You know that was in that time that the dispute happened. Because you know, if without a meeting, I only have documents or papers, and it is really different to listen a guy who leaves the project and not to understand what all the issues and what problems happen that only read on the paper. So for me, the meetings are really important. Today. Oh,
Okay. And one last question. So, when we say the possibility of settlement, uh, I didn't hear clearly an amount. Did you mention an amount?
no, I don't mention amount because imagine that the other company is claiming, I don't know, $1 million. And for example, the cost of the arbitration can be, you know, hundreds of dollars. Maybe if we review all the documents and the evidence and we doesn't have a really good position or strategy according to the evidence, probably I will do suggest that change to sign a settlement with, you know, $200, you know, because and it's you know, pros and cons analyze.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. You have responded with ha respondido con propiedad. So you have responded appropriately to the claim. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So apart from your answers and how you gather all the information, I might have two things that you could consider improving. So you in some part, I think it was in the claim part, you stuttered a little bit. So you're collecting your thoughts, and it took a little bit more time. So maybe
Yeah.
you can start using some words or filler words. For example, so what I mean is, and then you stop a little bit, and then while you're thinking, you say, okay, what I mean is this, okay? Or what I'm trying to explain is, or in this order of ideas. So those are filler expressions or filler words. So we can try those in order to for you to not only get in confidence, but also it doesn't cut the flow of the presentation.
Yes, to get more fluid. Right?
Uh-huh. Exactly. So if you feel confident talking, you can present your ideas better. Okay.
Yes.
And maybe some words here and there that might not be effective enough. For example, instead of saying the benefit as an adjective, you could say beneficial. So this would be beneficial. It's not especially an adjective, it's more like a noun. Okay? This would be beneficial for our for our for our case.
Okay.
So also, instead of, especially in legal terms, instead of saying improve, okay, in that specific case, I think the word would be de-escalate. Okay, because we're trying to reduce the damage or we're trying to gather control into it, so we de-escalate. De-escalate damage. or de-escalate the issue. So we can use that word too. Right? And one more time. Thank you, Gerardo. You have done a really nice job, and you'll be your grade soon. Okay? And obviously, we are not going to see each other the next week, but in I think 8 days, or maybe more, we'll see each other for the other half of this class. Okay? Right. Thank you very much, Gerardo, and I'll see you in a week. Have a nice weekend. And congratulations.